Pod with Jennifer Stone and David DeLuise.
Do you remember 50 First Dates, 10-Second Tom?
Of course.
I feel like you're 10-Second Tom every single episode because single episode, because every episode you're like surprised that we're like, oh, this is the podcast that we're doing. It's
Wizards of Waverly, Jennifer Stone. Hey,
nice to
how are
meet you.
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Yeah. You got
50
it.
First Dates is so sweet, and
It's
the
a great
end of that
movie.
movie is just adorable.
It's like
because there's
prime-
the videotape. They're on the boat.
Oh, I cry.
And they watch the
I cry every time.
videotape.
But we've
right?
established in this podcast that you and I, it's not hard to make us cry. I mean, I cry at like pet commercials.
I'm a crier. I was watching a commercial one time in a movie theater because sometimes they play the commercials, and it was about a puppy or something.
Yeah.
And then like the mom was sick or whatever, and both my daughters just leaned forward and looked at me, and they were like, he's crying.
Yeah.
You know.
And
I was crying.
There was like a PetSmart commercial, I think, where this dog was like running down a hill, and it was like the voiceover of the dog.
Right.
And he was like, I know you had a really rough day, and I was going to be a good dog because you had a hard day, and I wasn't, me being bad would make your day. And I don't know why I'm doing like weird Judy Garland.
This made you cry?
But like, sobbed. I called my mom and I was like, this commercial with the dog, and he just wanted to be good. And my mom's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, the dog just, never mind. So I cried. Dogs get you though. Animals get you.
But it's good to be able to be connected with that, I think, with the emotion.
It is. But you got to be able to put it in its place. You can't just be out in the world, just be like, like if there's an animal, anything. Like for me, if there's an animal, anything, like I'll be on TikTok and there will be any of the Pound or the like adoption agencies where they're like, where they're doing the sad music, and then they're like,
they get you.
Yeah. Oh God. And they'll do like a caption, and I know that's what they're trying to do just to get the animal adopted. But I just want to go and like adopt all of them wherever they are. But like literally, they'll do something like, I just can't wait for someone to come love me. And I'm just like, oh God, like I can't do it. Or like my owner returned to me because I love too much. And I'm just like, I won't ever return you. I'll love you forever. Like it gets me every time. Sorry if I blew out anyone's ears just now.
But the TT, which is what the kids call the TikTok.
I was like, the toilet paper? What is the TT? Do you have to
TP.
do you have to TT? Do you need a bathroom? Do you need a 10-1?
The algorithm of that. If
I spend time on one adoption video, I'm getting all of the adoption videos. And then I'm sobbing for 2 hours on TikTok, which is not what it's for.
Massive algorithm. I foolishly thought if you liked something that it would David likes that. David likes this. But it's not. It's the amount of time that you spend watching something.
Well, the whole point.
This is obviously new to me.
Yeah, but the whole point of the app is to get you to spend time on it.
I know it does a very good job, right? Everybody's addicted, but it's interesting because in knowing that, I'm like, you can't watch something if you're not
even if you're like curious, because then you'll get like 10,000 of the same type of thing.
But that's so interesting to me. So it's like you're not allowed to explore because your exploration is going to determine what's happening. It's not like, I like puppies. I'm going to watch puppies, because if a puppy leads you into a horse thing and then you're watching a horse thing, it's going to send you horse videos.
Maybe you're into horse videos and you didn't know it.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
The videos where, they're like a street cam or something, and you see
CCTV
No,
footage?
but like there's this, I'm sure everybody knows this. There's a guy like standing like at a bus stop, and there's a pole there, and there's a SEC TV or
CCTV.
Yeah. And then he steps away for 2 seconds, and a car comes screeching and crashes into the pole.
Near death experience.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, like near misses.
Yes, and also I do love it when someone slides down something and then lands on, misses the pool and then lands on something. What would you call that?
Like the funniest home videos kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are funny.
I feel
Why?
silly.
Don't feel silly. Those are funny.
No.
Is my face making you feel silly?
No, that you said the
Am I making a judgy face?
But the
I just don't know what else to call it.
America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah.
It's like.
But what would you call it?
I don't know.
Like pratfall videos, but they're not. They're but they're real.
Right, like people slipping and falling, or someone just walking and thinking the pool was the floor and walks right into the pool, whatever.
Like the Buster Keaton videos.
Yeah.
That no one understands that reference.
I don't know why I got so sad when you mentioned home videos. I think because I feel old, that's the reference that I know is why I got sad.
But I know that reference too. We're both old. Let's just accept it and move on. Okay. So today, two old people are going to do fan Q&As.
Oh my God. Cheers. Here's to the fans who have been with us for so long.
Oh my gosh.
And have supported us, and we really appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how nice it is to when fans come up and they just were like, "Oh my God, I love the show and you're my childhood," and it just feels so good, you know?
It blows my mind. It blew my mind at the time. And I know I've said this 1,000 times, but it still like flabbergasts me. But even when Wizards first came out and was successful, it was very surprising to me because it just didn't, my brain just never went there. Like I just loved acting to act. Like, and the idea.
It wasn't about that.
It wasn't about that. Like I never thought about having attention or fame or whatever you want to call it. And so that, it blew my mind at the time. And then after the show was over, I'm like, okay, that was a season and that season's over. And that was nice. Like once I kind of came to terms with it and all of that. But what still just is so touching and lovely is especially with like Disney Plus and stuff, like the fans still come up like they did back in the day. And it's amazing to me. And what's really crazy is the fact that like I said, we're two old people, but I keep getting older, but like the age range stays the same. Like it has to be a part of something that has that life to it is just such a gift. Yeah. And so like, we just appreciate you guys so much for just continuously, like it's the gift that keeps giving because it just keeps touching people, and to be a part of something that has that kind of effect on people is such an honor.
Yeah, it feels good. It really does feel good, and we appreciate you guys. So this is
a fan Q&A. So we're going to go in our crystal ball.
And here I have my wand.
that you love so much.
You ready? Here it comes. That's a long one. Wait, hold on. Hello?
Every time.
What? Hold on one second. I'm doing the podcast
he's
with
very
Jennifer.
Important.
Yeah, no, I'll call you back later. I told you never to call me on this wand.
Oh. It's spam.
Okay.
All right.
Can I do the first?
Yes,
When
please.
do you do the first one?
You want to do the first one? Okay.
You go.
I am fine with either.
Crystal ball.
Crystal ball.
Questions and answers.
Okay. Who's your favorite co-star to do scenes with? I really loved the Harper side stories where it was you and Jake. I really had fun with those because it was I love an odd couple. I mean, obviously looking at you and me here sitting right now, but like I love an odd couple. I do. And there was something about that trio of just personalities and those characters existing in the world together and having like side things together. Like I remember distinctly being in that damn beef jerky jacket that smelled so bad. It smelled like rotting meat because it was in the Ferris wheel.
I know this well.
Stuck, because I'm sure you just have the smell still stuck in your nostrils.
Well, there's other things too because we were shooting that episode and we hadn't shot that and something else, and that's when I broke my collarbone.
Oh, that's right.
And we had to shoot that like after my surgery, after I recovered. So that was like almost
like a pickup.
A month later. Yeah, we did it as a pickup when we were shooting a different episode.
Do you want to explain what a pickup is? No, people
I'm trying
enjoy
to think
your
about it.
explanations.
Yes, a pickup is when you've shot something like a episode or something, and you have to go and do either
like you're missing
reshoots
a shot or a scene
or pickup. You go and do it again.
Later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I have a picture of it on my phone because I just saw this and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is, we were up on a Ferris wheel. It was you, me, and Jake, and you were magically put in there by Selena, and you had a beef jerky outfit, and I take a bite of the beef jerky.
Which I can't, they gave you extra beef jerky, right?
I don't remember. I was just watching it. Listen, Jen, when I'm watching this, I don't remember a lot of the stuff. I mean, I remember that I broke my collarbone,
well, especially later
and this was a
seasons.
reshoot.
Yeah. There's like some stuff that's so clear and some stuff that's a little fuzzy.
I'm sure Shannon in wardrobe or they
made
made sure that the beef jerky was
for you to pull actual beef jerky off that jacket because that jacket is as artful as it was, and it was, to have like actual real life beef jerky sewn to this like leather Western style jacket.
A lot.
It smelled so bad.
Yeah.
It was not my least favorite, but one of my lesser favorite, just for the smell alone. Because I smelled like a carcass the whole time. It was not. I felt so bad for you and Jake being that close proximity with this like carcass
But I got
lady.
food, so it was good. I'm going to
true.
say something controversial, Jen. When I broke my collarbone, I got surgery, and then I didn't sit down and recover. I was pushing it too much.
That actually doesn't surprise me.
But I slipped, and then the plate that's on my collarbone popped out. So I had to, possibly go and fix it.
Yeah.
And the people on the show had said to me, if you miss more episodes, we might have to either replace you or you not be in the show.
Season 2, season 3? Like we were already very well established.
I know.
They were going to do the thing where all of a sudden we have a new dad.
Just
Get the hell out of here.
But that's what was said to me.
That's bullshit.
I swear to God, I'm not lying to you. They said,
who was
if you don't come.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. No. Don't mention the name. Don't mention the name.
Jen,
don't do it.
I love it though. I will say it.
I know you will. That's why I'm saying don't do it to yourself.
But that's what I was told, and
that's bullshit, and you know it.
It was weird. But here's the thing: I ultimately would not have gone back and done anything, because in order to go back and put the plate properly, because I have a plate and I have 8 screws through the plate into my collarbone, was shattered, and it just kind of like was kind of basically screwed back together.
Yeah.
But in order to fix it, I would have had to go back in and redo everything. It would have been another.
It would have been intense surgery. So you're just walking around with a screw loose.
Exactly.
Hey,
bada bing, bada boom. Forget about it.
It's going to be my thing. I love that. Okay. Do you wish the show went on for another season, or are you happy with how it ended?
Fuck. No, I'm not happy with how it ended.
No.
I wanted
especially
Peter,
after hearing Peter's ending.
Yes,
it was so good.
I wanted Peter Marietta to continue to be on the show and us to end it the way that he has told us the ending.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't watched that episode, go back and watch the Peter Marietta episode.
Yeah, he explains like how he wanted it to end, because he was our executive producer. He was so influential in what the voice of the show was.
He was the guardian of the Russos. He was making sure that the essence of the show was about the family.
And there was an element of Alex. Like there are certain things that Alex would do, like the anarchy symbol, like some of the things that like she would do that was just Peter.
Oh my God. One of the things that Peter did was he had a group chanting.
Yeah.
And he chanting makes it important.
Yeah.
Chanting makes it important.
Like Peter's like a punk rocker to his
100%,
core.
yeah.
And like that got through. And there was an element of it being like a bit punk rock for Disney Channel. So like it was, that element got muddled, I think, in the 4th season. And so the ending wasn't as punk rock, I feel like, as he could make it with the rest of the show.
Yeah. And with Disney, the kids are getting older. So it's very hard to, if there was a spinoff with you and Selena, that would have been one way to go. And I really do want to do a reunion, because the Alex versus Alex, as fun as it was to do that,
that's not how we end it.
Yeah, it wasn't there.
That's not the proper goodbye. I think we want to go out with, and I don't think it's the proper goodbye to that story, that narrative, those characters for the fans either.
Yeah,
like I think you guys deserve better.
I didn't feel like the show really ended with Alex versus Alex. I don't feel like that was just kind of like a one-off. It
was like a side adventure.
Yeah.
And it was,
David wasn't there, and I didn't feel like involved with everything. It was not what I wanted our last bit to be.
This is how I look at it. Alex versus Alex, though it was a lot of fun and a really great like production, like side adventure for the Russos, I don't feel like that's how I want to say goodbye to those characters and that story and that narrative. And I think that the fans deserve better.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, do you guys want to see another episode? Do you want to see a movie? Do you want to see something?
Here's the thing:
of course, they all want to.
But the thing is like I want to really. It's important, I think, to tell the right story, because I think if we do it, it would be the last time.
Yeah.
And I think it's important because the thing with Alex versus Alex is as fun as it was, and I'm proud of that for what it is, but it was more about production and being like this big extravagant thing versus the heart.
Yeah.
And I think the heart and the relationship between all of us is what made it special.
Right. And there was no way of doing we did 5 seasons in 4 seasons. You know what I mean? So, because typically a show is 22 episodes a season. We did like one season was 30 episodes. One season was 28.
It was a lot of episodes.
Yeah. And you do that because the kids get older and you know,
when you turn 18, they kick us out.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I feel so silly for what I'm about to say.
What are you about to say?
Everybody was making such a big deal about Selena turning 18. And I was like,
guys or
just everybody? They're like, she's going to be 18. I'm like, great, whatever. But then I guess that's your legal age to consent to grown-up stuff in the bedroom. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was. Like, she's going to be like that.
I feel like, unfortunately, there's this weird, it's really icky. There's this weird kind of like predatory almost thing with child actors. I mean, not almost. It is.
Well, because my daughter is the same age as you guys.
Yeah.
And I would, in my mind, I'm never going to be like, oh, my daughter's going to be 18, so she can have sex. You know what I mean?
But,
like,
but it's just
so
weird
bizarre.
with child actors in the public eye, if you're a woman, and I can't speak to the male experience, but I would imagine it's the same for guys too, because I think, I know like the Olsen twins went through it. Possibly the Sprouse twins went through it. Like there's this weird thing where it's this like countdown to 18 because she'll be an option and it's acceptable for me to be attracted to her.
So it's weird, right?
It's weird. It's predatory and it's gross. And it's, I vaguely remember that, but I think subconsciously like pushed it out of my mind because it is gross. Because there is this weird kind of pedophilic
It was very not cool.
Disconcerting. Yeah.
But I really do hope, after we're done watching all the movie and all the episodes,
conjure up a reboot.
Yeah,
that would
but it has to be like you said,
the
right story, the right foundation for all of us, and Selena has to be available.
Yeah, well, everybody has to be available because the thing is, the heart of the show is the relationships and everyone coming back together. Yes. So we got to get everybody back together.
Yeah, you're right.
That would be best case scenario. If this podcast could turn into a reboot, oh, my heart would be so happy.
And if it doesn't, that's okay because I'm here with you, Jen.
And I'm here with you too, and we get to like reconnect. It's a great excuse, not that we need one, to reconnect with all these amazing people that we had this special experience with. All right, ask a question.
Would you go back to those days? Wow, she's really torn.
I'm split because if I could go back and tell myself to be in the moment more, I absolutely would. But if I couldn't go back and like tell my younger self, like give my younger self advice, and if it was just me going to relive exactly where I was in that headspace, all exactly as it was, no.
Yeah, no. So that's a good point. So this question is just go back to that time. So it's not go back to that time with who you are now.
No, that's the thing. If I couldn't go back with the knowledge that I have now, I wouldn't want to go back.
If I could go back with the knowledge that I have now,
absolutely,
I would go back.
Are you kidding? Yeah. If I could go back with the knowledge I have now, 1,000%. But to go back and just relive that experience as it was, I don't believe in going back like that.
Right. Okay. Good answer. I'm not judging, but good answer.
But just a little judgy.
What was your least favorite thing you had to do in a scene? I could jump in there.
No, please do. I know what my answer is. I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm going to.
I can't wait, Jen. You say all.
You say it right now.
There was an episode where I was in full scuba outfit.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, harnessed up, and I was like, I had to like swim in the layer, and I don't know, somebody became a seahorse or something, whatever. Yeah. When we get to that episode, we'll talk about it. But I had to pee so bad.
No.
But I was in the full outfit.
And the harness is the worst to have to pee on.
I mean, I'm up there.
Because you're just there. You're stuck.
And Guy Distad, our first assistant director.
Who went on to like direct. And
yes, and who was in charge of everything.
Who we should also have on the show.
We're going to, for sure. He was like, can you hold it? Because I was like, oh,
here's
man.
Here's a Coke bottle, you know?
No, but not. I had to get down, undo the wetsuit.
I know.
Undo and everything. So that was a scene that I did not enjoy filming.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the scene you didn't enjoy filming, and the scene that you don't think you should tell us? You tell us.
No, I will, because this is all about spilling the tea for you guys, because you've earned it after all this time. And plus, there's been time, so it's like water under the bridge. Who cares? But
I'm dying to find out.
I really didn't like all the scenes that I had to flirt with Justin.
Oh wow!
I don't know what it. I don't know what it was. Like I know like Harper, and I embraced it, and I had fun with it, and I just ran with it.
Yeah.
But every time like I had a scene. Because I just don't see David that way. Like he's just so not on my radar.
Like your brother. Like
he's like my brother. He's just so.
know.
And usually, I don't know what it is about him. Usually, I'm able to really like disconnect and like get over it. Maybe it was the age that I was at the time or what. But every time I got a script where I had to like flirt with Justin or like whatever, I was like, oh God, I got to do this again. Like I got over it and like got to work.
Of course, and no one knew that was a little funny for you.
It just wasn't. It wasn't my favorite.
Okay,
gag.
so your relationship, you, Selena, David, and Jake were the kids.
Yeah.
So I understand that you were the friend, but for me, you were like the
and that's how I felt too, because like we all bonded. Like that we were all very close because it was this really unique shared experience, and I just. Yeah, David just wasn't my cup of tea. So, like, I don't know, for me, like, I think it was the age. I think it also had a lot to do with the age that I was, that now it's easier for me to separate and just, like, get over it of, like, okay, this is person I'm really close to, and they're, like, my brother, but I can put it aside.
Right.
Okay, let's ask another question.
Thank you for being honest.
Well, it's the truth.
But
the thing is like, it just goes to show, like, as an actor, sometimes you have to do things that you're not jazzed about. Sometimes you got to not pee in a harness, and sometimes you got to flirt with your brother, you know? Okay, so what do you think you personally had most in common with your character?
My love of food.
Yes. You are Italian.
My family.
You do love your family.
That I had, you know, I love being a dad.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. Because sometimes I would do my lines and I would say, you know, Alex, what are you doing? But if I put my daughter's name in there, it would become very real. And then I would observe myself as to how I said it, you know. So if I was like, Alex, don't do that, I could say, Riley, don't do that. You see how it changed?
Yeah. Well, and also, too, I'm sure that was hugely helpful because they were also around the same age.
Exactly the same age.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to keep track of the age. It changes every year. So that's my dad's joke.
That's a good joke. It's a good joke. I like that.
So you.
Me. Oh, that's right. I think the thing that I have most in common with Harper is probably like her darker side that peeks out every now and then.
I love how you're like, I shouldn't say this, but I'm saying
no, I mean, but the thing is like, because I'm not as bubbly as I can come across sometimes. Like I have like a darker sense of humor, and I have, you know, I like more macabre things, and like so the.
And that's why you're so fucking cool, Jen.
Well, thanks, fucking David. But that to me was like where I got to peek through Harper, because the bubbly stuff is like there, and I think a lot of people think that I'm a lot like Harper because of like some of the mannerisms. Obviously, I can't detach, and I turn up the volume on some of my natural isms.
Yeah.
And kind of tuned those into Harper. But yeah, when her like dark underbelly, like there was a clip somebody sent me recently of her at a concert. It's like that metal concert where they're like throwing meat. You remember Disney got so mad because they hated the meat throwing for some reason, and Peter fought for it. But there was something where Harper, and she's wearing like a basket on her head or something, and she's like, play it again, I need to feel alive. And like that was, it was stuff like moments like that I was like, I felt like Jen got to peek through a little bit more.
I love that.
But
I love that. The other thing that I think that I have in common with Jerry Russo is my love for fun.
Yes.
You know, and it's interesting because I don't know how many times.
I mean, that jumps off the screen.
We've watched a few episodes, and I worked with Christina Applegate, and I said my line one time, which was, you have to hear it spoken by the little hammer. Because I had a little hammer with the eyes and the mustache thing. That was a joke. And it was her line next. And I held, and I was like, I think it's your line. She goes, oh, I was waiting for the end. And I said, well, I said the last. She goes, no, but you always smile at the end of your thing. So I say,
the DeLuise smile?
You have to hear it spoken by the little hammer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That joy
when
that is there.
When I spend a lot of time with you, I swear I start picking up your like, like, and then I start like, and then like the DeLuise face of like the like I start like I swear it like
I like to have fun.
No, you do, but it's infectious, and I love that about you. But it does sneak into like my daily like my Eeyoreism sometimes of like which is good. I need an injection of it sometimes.
When you're at work being a nurse, hi, what's your name?
Yes. And you need to have surgery. I just look like a crazy person when I do it. It's charming when you do it. What was your favorite season, episode, and spell?
Shit.
I know. There was levels to that question.
I'm going to go with season 1 because
Okay.
we did it in we weren't out there yet. We were all just doing it for us and all that. I love the quinceañera episode, which was so fun.
That had such great moments for both you and Maria.
And Selena taught me the box step.
Yeah.
In between scenes or whatever, we were doing a little dancing. It was so cute. And, the whole thing about the quinceañera is that your daughter's, the shoe off.
Turning 15.
Yeah, you get to
becoming a woman.
be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a rite of passage kind of thing. And it was just, it was so fun to have that real moment, with her. And so so it was. Season,
episode, spell. What was your favorite spell?
Spell. I like the McReary time Reary.
It's a good one.
Because I did the whole thing.
I think you like that the jig that went with it. My favorite season is a mix between 2 and 3.
Oh,
I really felt like we hit our stride in 2 and 3. My favorite episode. Oh, that one's so tough. I wish I could go back and do I really love the episode. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I do wish I could go back and do the silent movie episode.
Oh, yeah. Where we all dressed up.
Because to be perfectly honest, I wish, because I love that era of film. I love the 1920s. But I so respect the research and the commitment that David put into it. And I just felt like I didn't bring it. Like I felt like he set a bar and I didn't meet him there. And I so wish I could go back and fix it and do it better.
I have a feeling that when we rewatch that episode, I'm going to correct you on that and say that
I'll
you
take
did an
it
amazing job.
I'm known for being hard on myself. But the thing is like there were certain mannerisms and things like as I've gotten older and like appreciated silent movies even more, with like there's certain things like with like Lillian Gish and like the Gish sisters and like Abbott and Costello and Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton with the house. Like there's so many things that I got to like more familiar with as I got older that I would have loved to like infuse into that episode. But I have such an affinity for that episode just because it's an era of film I really love. And my favorite spell, I mean, I kind of love the episode where you're just like, just make it up. Whatever you want to do. Make them ups. I mean, I love a make 'em up. I think the make 'em ups are pretty great.
That's so funny. But I want to tell you, while you're reaching in there to get that my mom did a play with Buster Keaton.
She did?
And he was a lot older at this time.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to come down the stairs and kind of like slip a little.
Yeah.
And because he was older, they were like, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Every performance, he would come down and slip all the way down. Because you know what? If you're Buster Keaton, you do it,
You have to. Well, but and that house gag, that like famous house gag, if he was like an inch
left or right,
over
he would have died.
You've been dead.
Yeah.
Like his commitment is just, I mean, he's a legend for a reason. But so many of those silent film actors, like they just, like some of them, their whole legacy was like lost in fires, like all of their movies because they were on film, and so it's like, like cellophane, like all burned up in different studio fires over the years. And so like there are some actors and actresses that their entire work is gone.
Yes.
And then and it's such the amount of being able to, and I know it's like you look back and it's over the top and things like that, but just to think about the challenge of acting with no words and having to emote and get and be funny or be like dramatic or
you had to really tell the story.
God.
It's amazing. And in the general, when there's a moment where the two trains are just passing and he has to throw a log to hit another log to clear it.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
It's life or death.
Yeah. The commitment is just out of this world.
I could be wrong on this, but there's a moment, and we have a friend, Bob Morgan, who's like an aficionado on this, and so I'll ask him. But there's a moment in the general when he grabs on to, where they have the water.
Yeah. I know exactly the moment you're talking about.
Apparently, he broke his neck.
Seriously?
He broke his neck or, dislocated something, whatever it was.
Or shattered his collarbone.
But it could be. But he didn't know it for like 3 weeks.
How do you not know you've broken your neck?
I think you get injured. I'm sure he got injured a few times and just didn't say, I'm injured.
Well, I mean, you and I are not, that's not totally foreign concept to us. We've both worked through injuries on Wizards that we've talked about. I was telling you one time where I threw myself into a trash can. Yeah. I had no idea that it was like steel, not aluminum. Yeah.
And I almost broke the other shoulder.
Oh, jeez. I would have been, good Lord. Okay. This is a good question. Who did Alex end up marrying? Who do you think? Well, it's got to be Mason, right?
Yeah, I think, I don't know if they got married. I think they were.
Maybe they got married and divorced.
You know what's interesting? It could be. Well, we'll see when they come up with the story.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, Greg would be the choice for that to have happened.
But also, if you think about it, they were first loves. I mean, it's not common that you marry your first love and stay with them forever.
Yeah, no, that's
true. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe they got married and divorced, or maybe like college, they like stayed together a little bit after and then lost touch, But I mean, I would like to see them reconnect. I think they were such a great, lovely relationship.
Yeah,
my hopeless romantic wants to believe that that's possible.
Yeah, they love each other. They're so cute together.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I apologize to everybody.
Maybe not. How was it when you met the whole cast for the first time?
I remember we had a meet and greet at a Italian restaurant. At the Grove.
At the Grove.
And it was an Italian.
Yeah.
I want to say Mastro's or something. I don't know.
No, it wasn't Mastro's.
But it's the big Italian restaurant.
David's steak place.
Oh, is that it? But we went upstairs and there was
I remember. I remember that very distinctly.
Meeting everybody, and I sat next to. I didn't know who it was, but I was like, the reason I'm here is because I know that they allow most of the parents on the other shows to direct, and I'm gonna direct some of the episodes.
Yeah.
I was talking to like the head network guy, and I had no idea.
That's the guy you pitch it to. I guess that's great that you sent it to him.
But I mean, I did
end
up doing. No, it was Adam.
Adam, okay.
And it's just so funny to me. I was like, oh, that really was like, oh, be sure you know who you're talking to. But so that's when the first time I think I met everybody.
Yeah.
Because The Amazing O'Malleys, the original pilot, had already happened, and I was not in that one.
Yeah.
So that was the first. Do you remember this?
I do. I remember. So Selena and I had everybody I met on like the table read for The Amazing O'Malleys. And then I remember Selena came over to watch this horror movie about like cave diving or something. It was like The Descent, I think.
Yeah.
She came over to my house in Texas.
I remember that.
We met up beforehand knowing we were going to go do this pilot together in Texas because we didn't know this, but
How far did you live away
like
from each other?
10 minutes away from each other. We'd never met. I had known Demi from like acting classes and auditions and stuff, and they were best friends from Barney, but like Selena and I had just never crossed paths for some reason, or at least we didn't remember crossing paths. But we'd had this sleepover to just kind of like get to know you before the pilot. So I met her first. But I remember the first time I met David. Talk about sticking your foot in your mouth and knowing who you're talking to. I always, it's not an uncommon thing to IMDb who you're working with.
Yeah, of course.
And like see who they are and that kind of thing. And now, I mean, the thing would be to Instagram them or whatever. But at the time, you would just only had IMDb. So I IMDb'd everybody in the cast, and I looked up David Henrie, and he had these photos of him with his shirt off. And I don't know if it was the way they were taken. I don't know if it was the angle. I don't know what it was, or like the lighting, what it was. I was convinced somebody photoshopped his, because he was really buff at the time.
Like he had like ripped abs.
Yeah, he was like a six-pack, like in really good shape. Yeah. So I was like, oh, somebody photoshopped these stupid photos on his like dumb body. Oh, so to me, that was my opener when I met David. So I walk in his dressing room. This is like right after the table read. Like, hi, nice to meet you. Go through the table read. And then we go in the dressing room and I'm like, by the way, You really got to talk to somebody about your IMDb because I was like, there's these ridiculous photos of you on this dumb body that absolutely doesn't match at all.
And he
like
said,
again, when I get nervous, I talk and I try to make jokes and try to make people laugh, which I like doing anyway. But when I get nervous, I really step in it.
Right.
And just really just shoving my foot in my mouth. And he just goes, no, that's me. And I'm like, I just wanted to dig my own grave and crawl into it. Like it was the worst way to like meet somebody to be like, your body looks like it doesn't fit on your head. Just awful. Yeah,
I love that you said that.
I like my foot needs to be surgically removed from my mouth. God, it's ridiculous.
Funny. So to the moral of the story is David had ripped abs.
No, the first like couple seasons he was in. Maybe the whole show he was in really great shape.
Whatever.
Well, you got in really good shape. Okay, let's do one more question.
Well, I was going to say something. I wanted to ask you a question. Where did you shoot The Amazing O'Malleys? Was it at the same studio?
I feel like it was, but I'm not 100% positive on that. But I feel like it was. But don't quote me on that.
I'm gonna really look.
Somebody might remember that better than I do.
I haven't found the DVD of that yet. I have it somewhere.
Well, everybody's asking you to upload it to the internet.
I'm gonna find it.
Or somebody to upload it to the internet.
How did that get out? Oh, now if somebody has it and uploads it, it's my fault.
Yeah, totally. You're so screwed either way. Okay. What magical fictional world do you wish you could live in is the first question. The second one is, what would you do on your days off from the show?
Star Wars. I would like to be in the Star Wars.
That's what you would do on your days off from the show?
No. But my days off from the show would be with my kids. I'd be with my kids. And the one great thing about being on a sitcom was that we would typically start at 8 or 8:30, and our run-throughs would be we would be done basically on the rehearsal days at like 2:30.
That must have been nice for you. I was not done at 2 or 2:30. I was stayed doing school until 6 or 7.
I'm so sorry, Jennifer. I apologize.
And then I didn't have a summer until like I think college. What magical fictional world do I wish I could live in? This is that thing that I have where when people ask really good questions, my brain's just like, knowledge, what's that?
What about, I know you don't love it, but Harry Potter would be a fun world to live in.
That's just
not
my
for you,
jam.
but for me.
For you, yeah, that would be
double
really cool.
answered the question.
You didn't know that, so those are both great answers. What I would really love, I just watched Babylon the other day, and I know that's not like it's based on reality, and that movie is not the example because that movie is very tragic.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. But that whole 1920s through the 40s golden age of Hollywood, I know that's not fictional because that was a real thing that happened.
So what about like Singing in the Rain kind of time, like in that
I would
zone,
I would have loved to have been in that, and I know that there were a lot of problems and there was a lot of things, but like there's something, and maybe I like, make it glorify it a lot more than, because like I said, there was definitely a lot of imperfections to that time. Yeah. But like there's just something so magic about that era of Hollywood and movie making that I love. And so I know it's not fictional, but I would love to live in like the golden age of Hollywood. I would love to live in that universe and have, maybe with the rights of today, I would like to live.
I feel, when I first met you, Jen, I felt like it was almost like you were from the 40s. You know what I mean?
It
was like you were from, and I was like, how they say old soul. Obviously, you're an old soul, but I feel like you were from that time.
I have a friend that and I don't know how much I believe in it or other people believe in it, but she does past life work, and she's like, oh, you were alive in the 40s for sure, and I'm like, I'll take it. Like I said, I'll take it with a grain of salt, but I'll take it.
Okay. And then, on that, the Defending Your Life, Albert Brooks movie.
Yes.
They go to the Past Lives Pavilion. If you haven't seen this movie, see it.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, you have to see it. And then Shirley MacLaine is there.
Oh my God.
And she's like, look at your past lives, because he's in purgatory. It's like heaven, but not.
Yeah. I love a purgatory
Shirley
metaphor.
MacLaine is there, but Meryl Streep is looking at herself, and she's like Joan of Arc, and then Albert Brooks is looking at himself, and there's a man running away from a tiger. And she says, what are you? And he goes, dinner. Sorry.
That's a great bit. And what would I do on my days off from the show?
Other than banking school.
Other than banking school hours. I remember, I mean, this wasn't the only thing that I did, but I remember I had a really great school teacher named Maura on the first season of the show.
Yeah. She had red hair too, right?
Yeah, she did. She was a really great teacher, and she would suggest like different exhibits at museums and stuff. And on a lot of my days off, we would go to that because she's been my set teacher since I did house back when I was like 11, 12. Wow. And then when this came around when I was like 13, you know, I was like, we got to throw her name in. She's amazing. I don't know if she'll do it. And she did it for the first season. And she's now the teacher for young Sheldon on that show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And she's so wonderful.
She's the best. But yeah, she was so attentive as a teacher. And it just goes to show how important teachers that are invested in their students and to like cultivate those minds, especially on sets, because there's some set teachers who just don't give a shit.
Yeah. And
she was the opposite of that. And we really lucked out with some good set teachers on Wizards. But yeah, she would find different things that we were really into and find museums and stuff.
That's so cool. I worked with her again because when I did Grandma for President, the podcast, she came, you know, and referred some friends too that helped out. She was amazing. And going to museums is really important. Yeah. I didn't do that so much. I mean, my mom took me to museums when I was younger, but now with Yulia, we did a lot of traveling. So I've gone to so many different museums in different countries in Europe, and it's just so much fun. I mean, you know, the Louvre, I've been there several times. Yeah. I think somebody said it could take you the better part of 3 weeks to see all of the art that's
even
there.
More than the Louvre, speaking, because I'm a Francophile, but the Musée d'Orsay is... because I love Impressionism, and they have a really great Impressionist collection.
I think we should go. Let's go to a museum together.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. And are you an art museum person?
I of course. I mean,
it's my favorite.
I have to say that when I was younger, I didn't appreciate it as much, but now I do. I don't know, maybe I'm just a little more comfortable with myself and I'm not judgy, you know, and Yulia, she knows museums and stuff.
Let's all go.
Yeah. Okay, done.
Let's do it. Well, guys, thank you for your amazing questions. David and I have an art museum to figure out which one we're going to and to go to. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in and for your amazing questions and being your amazing selves.
We heart you guys and thank you for listening to a very special episode of Wizards of Waverly Pod.
Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this week's episode of Wizards of Waverly Pod. And if you want clips from this week's episode, head on over to the Podco YouTube channel. The link is in the description to follow. And if you just can't get enough wizards in your life, and I know I can't, then head on over to our Patreon and follow for exclusive weekly bonus content. The link is also in the description. I'll see you next week.